Hey, what's up, boys and girls? Today, I'm going to play a little game. We're talking about the process, John. Going to play a little game. That's what I was referring to a couple weeks ago. I'm going to play a little game called Would You Rather. Picked up 10 of these when they dropped. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I will say that I was telling people in the Discord that they should pick some of these up because you had a decent class, I felt, but you had additionally the big rookies in there. Bobby, Julio, Torque, so on and so forth. Picked up 10. I sold 5. Actually netted $16.50 on the 5 that I sold. So I'm sitting on these still. Paid $1,800 because you used the Topps 10% discount. Got these on Topps.com. So let's just say paid roughly $1,800. And you can apply this as well if you didn't have the discount and you paid about $2,000 for these after taxes and shipping and everything. So those will be the numbers that we are working with today. Now, like I've talked about before, you have the degeneracy, not in a bad way, of ripping. Some people like to rip everything they get, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I mean, look, I'm still sitting on these 5, so obviously I'm kind of undecided what I want to do with them. So tempting, baby. Just like my favorite E-Thought. I'd give her every dollar I had if I could. But sometimes those opportunities present themselves. 2023 Series 1 Jumbos, 2022 Topps Update retail boxes, the same kind of story where the intention is to rip them. And maybe you rip 1 or 2 and you're not really feeling the vibe from it. You're not really getting the pools that you're seeing out there in YouTube world, everybody telling you how great they are. But yet when you rip yours, you're not really seeing that kind of ROI. The money tree is not just dropping free money on your head. And then you take a look at the secondary market and you see that these boxes have taken off in price where even after fees and things like that, you can come pretty close to doubling your money. So my guy Tedo in the Discord was talking about this recently when Fanatics dropped their 2022 Prism Football Blasters exclusive. I passed on them. He was saying that it's a potential to, say you won 8, maybe flip 4 of them or 5 of them and rip the rest for free. I agree, same kind of concept. Every now and then, like I alluded to, those opportunities present themselves. So what if I told you that with the $1,650 that I netted, that almost paid for the 10 boxes I got, and you can even say, well, if you just sold 1 more, you'd pretty much cover yourself net for the 10 boxes you got, even if you had to pay full price. You would still have the 4 boxes left to rip for free. There has to be some kind of situation, thought process-wise, where it makes sense for you to take a look at doing something like that. It's tough, I know, it's tough to fight the degeneracy of the want to rip, that willpower, wanting to rip the, get out of there, stop. A buddy in the Discord, Jay, what's up, Jay? He was talking about how he saw that they had 2022 Chronicles basketball draft pick boxes for $5 on some site. I don't know what shipping was, but the catch was you could only buy 1. He was hoping you could buy 10 or more. And then he was talking about batching up lots of star players, yada, yada, yada. What I was talking to him about was the thought process that would always go into stuff like that. Is it really worth taking on that chore of having to open everything, batch everything up, run to the post office several times for a product like 2022 Draft Pick Chronicles? I get the money motive, the profit motive behind it all. I always like hearing somebody that's trying to grind out some money in the hobby to kind of take the profits you could get on batching everything up, your time, or flipping sealed boxes to get into things that you'd rather have. I get that whole process. And we're just having a little father-son chat right now, father-daughter chat right now. If the ladies are out there watching, a little heart-to-heart from dear old dad. But getting back to it, if you were to sell 1 more box, like I said, you'd be covered at what I paid and pretty much covered, even if you had to pay full price. So you'd have the 4 boxes for free. Obviously, you're looking at grading fees and everything like that, which reminds me, I'm not grading at this time. My membership has expired by the time you'll see this video. So I'm not grading at this time, so it makes it easier for me to sit on the product or to flip it. But other routes you could explore. If I were to sell these 5 boxes and get the same net that I got from the previous sale, then I'd be looking at about a $1,500 profit on the 10 boxes. Well, what if I took that $1,500 and did something else with it? Because who wants to save it for the long international vacation I have coming up later in the day? Who wants to save it? That's boring. What if you could turn that $1,500 into other stuff? And this is not high end here, at least this batch anyway. apply this across anything. And I know a lot of you guys think about this. Let's go through some of these cards real quick. These were all in the $20 range, $25, $30 range. Prospects for days, baby. It's a nice Bernabel Mojo to 150. Some of the better cards, these ones were all about $40, $50 in that range. Teto, we got the GOAT here. Got him. Some Frelick action. Brady House, Jackson Merrill. You may have seen those cards if you saw the recent 2021 Bowman Draft Light Box that I did for opening day. Those cards right there were only about $700, right? Only $700. Let me get over here to the stack since I haven't done a mail day video in quite some time. Maybe I should be doing that. This stack here is right at about 100. I didn't count out the cards, maybe 100, 102, 103. I'm just assuming $5 a card here, maybe a little more or less. But when you take all the graded cards I just showed you, about $700, plus let's assume this stack is about $5 a card times 100 cards, you're looking at $1,200-ish dollars. And I'll just flip through a lot of this stuff while we're talking. But you could take that money. Sure, you could take the money, the $1,500, buy your wife, buy your husband something nice, put it in your kid's college fund. That stuff's boring though, right? Boring. You gotta take your money, try to turn it into more money. Of course, the thing about buying raw cards though, as you know, is for the most part, if you're looking to come up or make those larger profits, then you're going to have to find cards that are worthy of grading. Or you just kind of sit on them for a while, right? Wait and see what happens, wait and see which of these guys develops to where 3-4 years down the road, you could be looking at cashing in on some of these guys. So again, that's just some of the stuff that I think about when I am deciding what I want to do. The intention is usually to rip, but there can be those times, depending on where you're at financially in the hobby, what's going on in your life, where you may just not want to deal with that. You maybe have your eye on something. Maybe it's a large Luka card, or it's a large Brady card, or a Mahomes or something, where you can take your profits and turn those into something else that you may want. You could get into a nice Josh Allen PSA 10, a Jokic, a Mike Trout, an Ohtani, anything that you can dream, anything you can imagine, it can come to you with the right flipping opportunities. Flip to rip, as they say though, or in this case, flip to acquire other things you may want, other players you may like, things you may want to look at long-term holds. One thing I will add though, the flip side of this, the guy that I sold the 5 boxes to, he had opened one of them so far as of our last communication. I had contacted him back after that and I asked him if he'd be willing to tell me what came out of the other 4 boxes. He told me about one, but if he would be willing to tell me what came out of the other 4 boxes when he went ahead and opened those. And that was a few weeks ago. He never got back to me. So I assume he wasn't interested. I asked him if he wanted to be part of the project, but what he told me out of 1 box, and this may kind of flip you to the other side of wanting to rip. The 1 box he told me he opened, Julio Rodriguez base rookie, and
Bobby Witt Jr.
Image variation to 99. That'd be the Aqua.
Kyle, you son of a bitch.
At that time, that was about a $400 raw card.
That's massive.
Graded, who knows, you probably add a couple more $100 in value to it if it's a 10. He did say that a little bit of the stuff in there was off-centered.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to get an exact number from him, of course. When thinking about things, you have to examine all sides of it. I know that a lot of you out there, I've heard you talk. I've seen your messages in the Discord. I've seen your messages on the YouTube videos. It's the what if. What's inside these boxes? There's 5 of these bad boys here. What possibly could be inside of these boxes? I'm pretty much covered. I'm short about $150 based on what I paid. I could sell 1 more of these boxes. What's in these boxes? Can I resist? Or should I just sell them to pay for everything you saw here? Should I sell them to buy something else? That's the thought process. You always have to think about things from different perspectives. And I think that your risk tolerance and how you feel about the joy of ripping versus waiting long term on some of this kind of stuff here, these graded cards and these other raw cards, that will dictate which way you go. And obviously your financial situation at a given point in time. Sometimes you buy it and you know you're going to rip it. Sometimes you buy it and you're kind of on the fence, and then you see the secondary market prices take off and you're like, yeah, I think I'll just move it, save up for the next thing. So we've got 2023 Bowman coming out in a few weeks. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. Take care. Let me know your thought process down below. The process, John. The process, John. Is it in there somewhere? Maybe it's in here somewhere, John. I don't know. Be well, everyone.